Russia? What? Why are you going to Russia? Everybody told me to be safe. Like Putin, and hackers, Russian hackers. The grass is always greener on the other side.
Всем привет! Меня зовут Регина. Меня зовут Ирина. И сегодня мы поговорим и позадаем интересные вопросы молодому человеку из Америки. Его зовут Колман Рамзи. Он из штата Южная Каролина. Он хочет составить собственное мнение о нашей стране и узнать чуточку больше о ней. Ну что, начнем? Hi.
Привет.
How are you?
I'm good. I just had coffee and breakfast, so I'm good to go.
What's your name?
My name is Colman Ramzi.
Where are you from?
I'm from the city called Greer, South Carolina. It's a southern state in America.
Tell us about yourself.
I like to travel, I like to learn languages, and I'm not the typical American citizen. Like, I have a farm and a few animals, and I like the simple things in life.
Why did you decide to visit Russia?
Well, I had been studying Russian since high school. Like, I teach myself Russian, and I've always thought it was a beautiful language, like the alphabet. I always wanted to learn how to read that alphabet. But I just studied every other year and started to learn it more and more and more. And then I wanted to visit the country.
What are the differences between Russians and Americans?
I would say mannerisms, because, well, I say both cultures are pretty materialistic, at least in Moscow. And the biggest differences are in Russia, everybody has their own deal. They just focus on their own life. But in America, everybody gets involved in each other's lives. Some people like that, some people don't. So, I don't know, in the cultural upbringing, like in Russia, everybody seemed to have struggled together growing up, for centuries. And in America, it's just like, hey, everything's good, happy, whatever. So you can see that in today's societies, in each country.
What did you think of Russian culture?
I think it's very, very solid. Like, it's more tangible than American culture, if that makes sense. Like, Russia has many more true stereotypes that aren't bad, but they're just only true for Russian people. Like, the Russians are different from Europeans, and they're different from the Asians. They have their own set of cultural differences. And I really enjoy seeing it every day. I like not being bombarded with questions and like, how are you today? How are you? What are you doing? Why are you so sad? I like just everybody minds their own business, and that's how you know you have true friends. Because if you make somebody smile in Russia, then that means that's a real smile. It's not a fake smile. So they show their true emotions in Russia, and that's what I like.
What stereotypes did you hear about Russians?
Stereotypical Russian dances, that is somewhat true, because y'all have many festivals about heritage and culture, which I like those. And everybody knows how to dance that dance. But I studied about Russia early in my life, so I knew kind of which things were right, which things were not true. So, other Americans, of course, that's all they think about is Russian stereotypes. Like Putin, and hackers, Russian hackers. Like, they're gonna destroy our nation. What? No.
Why do you think that Russians don't smile?
I just think that maybe they don't, there's no specific reason to smile. Maybe they're just thinking about their day. They're just worried about what they're doing next. And Western countries, are the only countries that just smile for no reason. Like I said before, when a Russian smiles, or you make a Russian smile, that's a true smile, not a fake face, not a mask. So it makes things more genuine, you know.
What kind of propaganda is there about Russia?
And for the most part, the propaganda is bad against Putin. Same within Britain. I think London's news media and America's news media always makes Putin the bad guy. And I think maybe that they just want to create a villain just so they don't look bad. Because, you know, our Western governments are pretty bad. They have a lot of propaganda too. But they want everybody to focus on the bad in Russia. I don't know, Russia's always had like a strong leader. Maybe it needs a strong leader like that. Because we don't have many strong leaders in the West. We don't.
Can you speak some Russian words?
Да, конечно. Я могу говорить по-русски чуть-чуть. Немного слов знаю. I try to learn new phrases and new words every day. It's really hard, but I really like the language, so it helps me learn it. I've studied for so long about it, and it's still so hard. I don't know. One time I messed up, and I was telling somebody bye, and I was like, "Здравствуйте," and not "До свидания."
What Russian cities have you visited? And what parts do you want to visit?
Well, we visited St. Petersburg in January, and I really liked that city. Like, the architecture was very old Europe, and that was my favorite part, was to look at all the buildings and many beautiful parks. And we saw it in the winter, so the weather was brutal, but that was okay because just everything you see makes it worth it. I want to go visit St. Petersburg again in the summer just to see everything without snow this time. Feel a little bit warmer. I heard it's still cold in summer, or you still need a jacket in summer. I visited Chekhov the other day, and I went to help tutor a class, and it was a really nice place. My hosts, they showed me Pushkin's wife's house, like the big pink house down there, and the park connected to the house was just a beautiful, quiet place with a big river going through it and many of the white trees everywhere. And you could tell the trees were so old by how big they were. And once you walk off the street down into the park, it was just so quiet. And all you hear is birds and the river. But Chekhov was a small town, you know, not many people, and I like that. That's, you know, it wasn't busy Moscow, even though it's still the Moscow region, and it reminds me of home, you know. I want to go visit Siberia, like maybe Omsk, and, you know, wherever traditional Siberia is. I want to go see how cold it actually is, and maybe I want to visit Kazan, тоже, and then we will go see Uchili soon. I think that'll be really cool to see with the big Ural mountains. So I want to experience that, like the true Russian winter, like outside of a big city, you know, like small city life. I want to see how it is. It's very interesting for me. And maybe I want to visit north too, like Murmansk, or just anywhere I can see the northern lights, like the colors in the sky, because I've never seen that. Of course, Sochi, in the summertime probably, but yeah, I'd go in the summer.
What do you like about Moscow? And what do you like about St. Petersburg?
Yeah, I enjoy Moscow just because any region can be different. You know, if you don't like the big city, don't go to the center. You can stay outside of the city. But it is a beautiful city, an efficient city. I like the metro system. and the transportation system, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. St. Petersburg, I could live in St. Petersburg. Just one thing, or one bad thing, is the weather. It's like, it's windy and wet, you know, always windy, always rainy, I guess. It probably wouldn't be good for your health. I mean, of course, they're used to it, but as a foreigner, that's probably not where I would live. The differences is the heat. We rarely get snow, maybe one time, maybe 2 times a year, maybe. Sometimes we get no snow. And in the summer, it can be like 100 degrees every day, almost all day. And in my city, we have a full day of sun. The sun doesn't set at 5 o'clock, it'll set at 9 o'clock p.m. And if you got to work out in that heat, it can drain you, it can make you tired of living there. And I'm just tired of the heat. It's so hot. I don't work well in the heat. I'd rather put on clothes here and survive the cold versus live there and survive the heat. Because I've seen people pass out from working in the heat too long. But in the cold, you can just wrap up and you can be warm. But there's a lot of differences. Like in my city, we don't have a good transportation system. Like my town of Greer does not have a bus that comes through it at all. The neighboring town of Greenville, they do have buses, but you rarely see them. You know, it's only on one street mainly. So yeah, everybody drives a car. Everybody has to drive to work or get a friend to take them. We don't have a train to jump on and just go to town. But we're used to it, you know. We have long roads, and it takes a long time to get from one part of the city to the other part of the city. All right, and I guess in my city, people are a little more friendly than Moscow. Like they'll talk to you like strangers. They'll just come up and talk to you. But like I said before, here in Moscow, everybody's just focused on their day, their stuff, their own thing. When I first decided to come to Russia last year, yeah, I told my mom first, and she was kind of like, oh, okay. Like she was actually like, okay, yeah, cool. Maybe because she doesn't know everything about Russia or something. But she supported me, and everybody else I told, they were like, Russia? What? Why are you going to Russia? And it's like, why do you have that reaction? Because you only watch the news. You only hear what the news tells you about Russia, which is mostly bad. But you know, I studied the culture, I knew about it a little bit, and it was very interesting for me, so I wanted to come witness in real life. And then my grandma, I told her, and you just see her eyes like, oh, like she was thinking like, Russia, what? Why are you doing that? It was like she was about to cry almost. I was like, no, it's not bad. You just think it's bad. So it was funny to see all my friends and family's reaction. I mean, I just had to explain to them, you know, that's one of the cultures and countries I've studied for a long time. Like a lot of my friends, they don't really care about history as much as I would. Everybody told me to be safe, and I haven't felt unsafe here yet. I haven't seen anything that could put me in danger. You know, just like my city, I mean, there's things there that could put me in danger too. So there's a lot of eyes around here. So if something happens to you, other people are going to help you, or other people are going to see it. That's one thing I've noticed here that's really different from America is the food, like the price of food. Every week I would go to the grocery store and buy food for the week in America. And I could spend anywhere from $60 to $200. And that's just average for the whole week. So here I could spend probably a third of that, maybe even less, for all the food I would need for the week. If you don't want to cook your own food, you got to go buy food from a restaurant or fast food, and that's going to be at least $10 a plate for everything. At least $10. More likely $15. So it's kind of ridiculous, but that's how it is over there. Just because our salaries are higher, but all of our expenses are higher too.
Why do you think Russian teenagers like American culture?
I think it's because the influence of media that gets here. All the Russian teenagers are on every social media platform. And all they see on the social media is Western culture, basically. That's all they see. So I think maybe they believe that life is better because of all the pictures that they see. But honestly, those are just people who, they do one thing every now and then that's crazy and fun, and then they post only that. They don't post their everyday life. They just post all the fun things. And I think that influences people a lot in other cultures. And they think, man, I wish I lived over there. I wish I could do that. Because maybe they think we do that every day. And that's not true. Because a normal average day of an American teenager, they probably sleep half the day, then go work 3 jobs and get home really late at night. And they do that every day. So I don't know why they want the Western culture so bad. It's not that, I don't know the word. It's not that crazy or fun. You're not seeing the real story. Does that make sense? Yeah. But I really honestly think that they should embrace their own culture.
Thank you for the conversation. Thank you very much, Coleman.
Ставьте лайки, пишите комментарии. Пока-пока!